I said that my next Van Vlogs video would be soon, and it is indeed very soon. It's 2 days after I filmed the last one. Not necessarily uploaded, but filmed, because uploading obviously takes probably a couple of days of all the editing, blah, blah, blah. Today is Tuesday, and I'm back out to the movies to watch a film. Killers of the Flower Moon has been out now for 2 weeks. One of the most highly anticipated movies of the year, directed by the legend himself, Martin Scorsese, with a cast led by Leonardo DiCaprio. This is going to be the longest film I've ever seen in my life. It's 3 hours and 26 minutes long, with Scorsese attempting to justify the running time to describe the history and context of the story. I will point out that across Canadian First Nations communities and Native American communities in both nations within the continent, there will be some maybe outcry or at the same time support for this movie. It details a very sensitive subject of white settlers taking over Indigenous land. That's why it's going to stir a pot a little bit. It might be seen as controversial in some ways, but it's a topic that needs to be talked about. In Canada, we have Truth and Reconciliation Day to honour and remember and educate ourselves about those who suffered at the hands of colonisation and the residential schooling system. I'm not sure America necessarily has the same thing. I haven't actually done enough research into it myself, but I do know a lot of the basics. What I can say is that I'm going to be doing this movie today in the DBOX seats. DBOX seats move and have vibration sensors on them. I believe Cineworld has something quite similar back in the UK. They move, they vibrate with the action, and they pivot slightly. I used to work at a Cineplex back when I was living in Edmonton, and when it was redeveloped and renovated, the main auditorium had DBOX recliners placed into it. Something that I'd never seen before, but something that was quite cool. I don't know if this one actually has that though, but I'm going to see. And I tend to make all of my videos about film reviews in a different kind of cinema. So today, I'm off to the Metrotown one. So I'm going to be reviewing this one because I've been up it, but in order to go past the actual main bits, you have to have your ticket scanned. And today, I'm going to be able to do that. This is the exterior of the station that I get off at when I actually go to watch films. Usually, I'd continue from here and go in this direction towards New Westminster where the landmark is. Today, I'm here at Metrotown and I'm staying put for a few hours. Any excuse to come to Metrotown means I'll have any excuse to go and walk around the shops and have a look around what's about and just kill a few hours here. But I'm looking forward to this. It's my first time, like I say, actually in the Metropolis, as the mall's called, Metropolis at Metrotown Cineplex. And the guy who owns it actually used to be the GM of the one in South Edmonton Common, from what I've been told. I'll see you all in a few hours though, because I am going to do a little bit of shopping and stuff. Well, not shopping, but just have a little bit of window shopping rather, and then get back to you in several hours' time. The reason why I didn't show you the view around the mall is because, like I say, it's not the main reason why I'm going to be here. I'd much rather show you actually what these DBOX seats look like. That's going to be probably the main focal of this particular film review. I'm actually outside the Metrotown right now. I'm near what's called Station Square, which is like a little strip of restaurants, which is close to the Metrotown Mall. When I say Metrotown, that's actually the area of Burnaby, and the mall specifically is called Metropolis at Metrotown. But when I say Metrotown, you know what I mean. I think most people do. Most Vancouverites do. Yeah. I'm going to actually see if I can play on some of the arcades, actually, because I still do have my card from when I used to work at Cineplex. Like, I used to have a card in which I used to be able to tap to play games. You can buy them, actually, at the cinemas and use them to play some of the arcades. I'll have to dig around my wallet and see if I can find it, and if I can, I'd like to have a few rounds on some of the games there. I feel like a little kid again, really. But I'm not looking forward to watching this. It's going to be an interesting movie. And I want to add as well, Leonardo DiCaprio has worked with Indigenous and Native American actors and actresses before. Dwayne Howard, whom he worked in The Revenant, is a British Columbia born actor who is of First Nations origin. I don't actually know where he specifically is from, but he did say that the language he had to learn for his role in The Revenant is a lot different to the one he speaks. Naturally, and he used to work as an addictions counsellor prior to becoming an actor. Lily Gladstone, who plays one of the main protagonists in this film as well, she is of Native American origin as well, and is a very distant relative of former British Prime Minister William Gladstone. So there's a lot of history and a lot of very interesting stuff to know about these actors and actresses. As I said earlier, this is a period in the history of the United States that I think is overshadowed. Canada has done a lot more to educate its citizens about colonisation and the impact it had on Indigenous communities many generations down the line. This film details the exact events that happened in the United States of America as we know it today. This film's set in the 1920s, at a time where America was still a fairly young country, and land was in demand for white European settlers, and their ancestors too, in a lot of ways. So I imagine we get to learn about the attitudes towards these two people, how they tried to learn to coexist, and ultimately the effects it had on the communities. Yeah, I've actually met Indigenous people before here in Canada. I've met the chief of a Cree tribe, and he was a very, very intelligent guy. His wisdom and knowledge and how he showed a lot of appreciation for the world were like unmatched. And if you ever do go to America or Canada and you ever do meet these people, I would talk with them. You can learn a lot about their culture, their history. And actually, if you do move to Canada, I want to add, look at what treaty your town or city is on. Because that's how you can learn about the First Nations people. I suppose what I'm trying to say without rambling too much is, this movie is a good way to learn a little bit of history about Native Americans and how the, I suppose, white people impacted them as a whole. So it might be quite difficult for some people to watch, as I have alluded to, but things like this can't be ignored in history, and we have to learn to educate ourselves, move forward, for whatever means necessary, whether it be on a film on a big screen or even a small TV show. In this case, it's a film made for the big screen. I'm in my auditorium. Generally speaking, AVX auditoriums tend to be number one on the list. So this particular one is called AVX1. The seats regularly are blue colour, but the DBOX ones are red. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of DBOX seats. Here's the DBOX seat that I was talking about. I'm specifically here. I've put my drink there just to show where I am. So DBOX seats will start to kick into action once the picture starts. You'll feel them vibrate slightly and move a little bit. You'll feel a slight shudder. This here controls the intensity of the vibrations. So you can obviously up it a bit, decrease it a little bit there as well. If I actually sit down in it, it feels just pretty much the same as a regular seat. Only when the movie starts, you start to feel it a little bit more. As the picture hasn't started up yet, I can't really feel anything, as I say. I'm actually dead early. Holy hell. I wasn't expecting the movie to be done this soon. Actually, the first one was airing at 2:30 p.m. I think it was, yeah, 2:30. This one finished at probably like 6, not even that, like 5:45. Credits have rolled. I've saw them cleaning it, so not bad. Not bad at all. But, again, I've come very early. I didn't expect the film to be done this soon, as I say, and yeah. Am I going to get this all to myself, is the question I'm going to naturally now ask, thinking about it, because I nearly had that with Saw. I nearly had the old gaff to myself. But it didn't turn out that way in the end. I know I'm super early, but I'm living in the lovely moment of having this place to myself for the time being. I don't know. I might, actually, if I actually had like tons of money and money weren't the issue, I'd install like my own cinema into like a massive mansion or something. But I'm just thinking like in dream world there. It'd be pretty cool actually to have something like this. I'm sure some celebrities actually do have that. Yeah. Please be the only one in. 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 Trailers are going to start in about, say, 15 minutes. So I'm going to shut this off and give my review of the film afterwards. I've got to sit here for 3.5 hours, bear in mind. That's how long this is. I've already said that. Longest film I've ever seen. It's gonna be mad, but a new experience for sure. So I'll see you all in around 3.5 hours time. Be about, I guess, 10:30 at night when I get out of here. So incredibly late. It's wild. And actually, prior to this, the longest film I'd ever seen was Babylon at Christmas in 2022. That was 3 hours and 15 minutes long. It came out at the same time as Avatar. Babylon was also quite highly anticipated, mainly because it had Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie in it. But I believe it only got about 68 million on the box office, way below what the budget was. The budget was about 90 million. That one was a bit of a flop in a way, but I did like Babylon as well. That was 3 hours 15 minutes, and this one's that I'm seeing currently is 10 minutes more than that. I need a sugar rush or something, that's why I bought a drink. Then again, my drink was no sugar. God, I'm gonna be green crackered by the time this film's done. Pray for me, in a way. What day are we on today? We're on Friday, aren't we? Yes, we're on Friday. And it's come to my attention that I didn't even review the film. I can't believe I've gone this long without making a video to sum up my day out and the film and what have you. So I'm here right now. It's not even a case of better late than never, because this is too late for me. And I apologise if you're watching. I'll talk about the cinema for a start. The Metropolis at Metrotown is quite a small cineplex, in all honesty. It's got around 8 screens, I believe. And it kind of reminded me to the one at West Edmonton Mall, given I used to live in Edmonton. The one at Edmonton had about, I think, 16 screens, actually. It was probably twice the size, but you wouldn't guess it just by looking. And the one at Metrotown, I just call it the Metrotown Cineplex, because why not? It's quite a lot smaller. The arcade's a lot smaller than what I thought, but I couldn't tell that it was that small judging from looking on the outside in, because you can't actually go into this theatre without having your ticket scanned. That's going to be something that can hinder, actually, a cinema. Because you make a lot of money off of people who just want to come in for a bag of popcorn or just want to come in for a drink or what have you. And they don't have that option. So that was something that was, in a way, a little bit of a pity, but it's only a minor complaint at the same time. The auditorium itself was actually fairly big. And the DBOX seats weren't really needed, I would say, for this kind of film. Because there wasn't enough action in it. Usually if there's a lot of motion, your seat will, because I'm on a pivot seat, will swing probably a bit more like this. That didn't happen. Killers of the Flower Moon did not have that kind of action in it. You could tell that the seats are going to start moving somehow because they vibrate and you shudder a little bit. It wasn't enough to move, as I say. The movie itself was 3 hours and 26 minutes long, but I didn't feel that way when I got out. I got out about 10:45 p.m. It didn't feel like too tiring, to be honest. You don't notice the time with this kind of film. I think what it is that the just storyline kept you engaged enough. Do you know what I'm saying? You just get a storyline kept you engaged enough to just not notice the time passing too much. The movie itself is based on true events. it is based on events that happened in 1920s Oklahoma on the Osage Indian Reservation, a plot of land that obviously still exists today and is still owned and protected by the Osage people. The actress who plays the main female protagonist character, Lily Gladstone, is herself Native American, but she's from the infamous Blackfoot tribe in Browning, Montana, on an Indian reserve that is quite well known in the northern United States. She would have had to have learned a different language to portray this character, as would all of the, shall we say, American characters as well. Robert De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio, also would have had to have learned a little bit of the Osage language. It does talk about something that did affect America a lot in those days. How the Native Americans felt that their identity and heritage and culture would be lost for generations to come due to mainly Native American girls marrying white European men, and how that would harm future generations. It also sums up the main point, which is that as soon as oil was discovered in anywhere in the United States, the white Americans made it like a priority to get their hands on that oil and take over that land with force or by a treaty which was later broken. There were some First Nations people sitting next to me watching the film, and I could tell they were a little bit uncomfortable by some of the things in this film. So it is important to tell the story, but also it could serve as a painful reminder to other people. So kind of a warning from me if you're planning to go and see it. Thank you very much for watching this video as well. I don't know when my next film review is going to be. I haven't checked what's on in the next couple of weeks, but next time there's something big coming out, I'll be going. I'll pick my next Cineplex location. I seem to be reviewing them all in this city. So take care, everybody. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all on the next Van Vlogs, whenever that may be.